Hello there, welcome to Broken Tool Garage. I'm back on my dad's 97 Dodge pickup, and you notice that it's backed into the garage. So if you guessed that I'm going to be working on something on the back end of the truck, you're right. And no, I'm not putting this 360 in the back end of the truck. It is going to go in something. I do have that project. I just got to get some of the things out of the way. Project Phoenix out of the way before I get on that, and you'll see what this 360 is going to go into. Because you totally have been wondering that ever since you watched my videos on building this engine. Alright, what am I going to be doing on the 97 Dodge truck? I'm going to be doing rear brakes. This is a drum brake vehicle, so if you've ever done that before, hang on, we get to relive all those wonderful memories together. Alright, got you set up and I forgot my gloves. So, got the tire off, no big deal, up on jack stands. I usually leave my jack up underneath the rear end. That way I have a little bit of extra safety just in case a jack stand should fail, right? So I'm looking at this here. I'm rotate it around. Now I can rotate it because it doesn't have the Ponzi unit in there, or a sure grip or limited slip, whatever you want to call it. And we can see that there's fluid right around in here where it's still leaking. Ooh, these pads are soaked. That is not the proper usage of brake fluid. It's not what you put on your brakes so that they stop better. So definitely time. Alright, a couple key points. I'll move you around here just right quick. Alright, here's something very important. Whenever you're doing a brake job, take one side off, use your cell phone or whatever to take very good pictures of how all this is laid out. Because if you take this off and you don't take pictures when you go to put it back on, you're going to be quite frustrated. So note where all the springs are. Oh, that's supposed to be in there. That's a little emergency brake spring. So note where the little things like that is. Note where this spring goes, how it looks, where this hook comes in. All these little things on both sides, make sure you know where they're at so it can go back in correctly.
There we go. That's gonna be fun putting back on.
Okay, got it out. So there's a little stem, and this goes all the way down in there, So it has a little slot right there. That has to fit the slot. It kind of boogered the end up there. And then it twists. And then you let go of the spring. Sounds real good, except for this stem bounces back and forth and it wants to rotate with the whole assembly. Pretty genius design, you know. Alright, I got my little bridge piece out. Now I have the bottom spring here. You can't see the bottom side, but I'm moving to the bottom spring right now. I'll relocate you. This is the adjuster. What that does, when it spins, you turn it one way and it pushes out and tightens the brakes up. Okay, on the bottom spring, right here, you can barely see it, so I'm going to attempt to get that out by using a little hook end of this. It actually is as hard as it looks. Whew! Might be time for a 10-minute break. Alright, I'm at a pause point because what I need to do is get the wheel cylinder off, which was leaking. That means I need to take the brake line off and a couple bolts. What I'm going to do, the reason I'm pausing for the night, is I'm going to use the PB blaster on all of that so that whenever I come out tomorrow, it'll be nice and loose. The last thing you want to do is get in there with a old crudded up line that's probably, in this case, 30 years old or so, or close to it, and then round the nut off or twist your line or something, because that's exactly what happens. Alright, PB blaster. So I'm trying the Harvest King penetrating lubricant. I don't know if it does as good, but it's what I got. So I'll get back behind here. I'll show you right here. I'll show you how to get PB blaster on your action camera. So I got a bolt right here, bolt there, got the bleeder, and I got this here. Had a little bit, and I got up behind there too because it needs to penetrate in there, because the last thing I want to do is round this off and make it where I got to drill stuff out. Alright, that's it for today. Let it set overnight and should just fall right off, right? Okay, here's some of the tools that I used. So getting a little bleeder off, you can use an open end wrench. However, you only get two sides that's going to touch that bleeder, and they're usually on there pretty tight. So you can use the brake wrenches, but unless you get a good one, what happens is these will open up and then it just rounds the nut off. They do have better contact, as you can see, as you get three sides right there of good contact, 3-4 sides right there. What I used, and I used to have a smaller one of these, and I don't know where it went, but I just used the adjustable wrench because I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, the same as this, except for this isn't going to open up like that. But it's kind of hard to get in there. And I just use this to kind of crack it loose, and then I can come back and use just my regular wrench on that. When I go to put it back together for the final torque, I'll probably go to the parts store and just get me one of the smaller ones. That way I can get on there pretty good. Like I said, these, they like to open up and then just round the nut off. So, anyways, I'll show you what we got. So we're back in here. I cleaned this up a little bit. Right here, nothing fancy, just brake clean rag, you know, easy. I'm wearing gloves on this because this is really nasty. I don't want that on me at all. I don't like brake fluid on me. So if we sneak back in here, this is the nut that I was talking about right here. And then you also have the bleeder and the brake line. And then there's the two bolts right here that I cracked loose already after letting set overnight with PB Blaster. So I'm dripping a little brake fluid right now. It's time to get this out and then get the new one in. And probably have to make a part store run to get that tool that I want to use. And then it's the hard part, putting them back together. Okay, here's a review of my brake parts I'm going to be using. So I went with the Rock Auto Centric right here. So in this box is the brake hardware kit. So it has the springs, a lot of variety of springs in here. A lot of times these are fairly universal. Has the new little caps and the little studs, you know, that I really love right there. All the little different springs. So that is necessary whenever you're doing your drum brakes. I also got a brake hose. This is on the, I guess, the driver's side. I didn't see it on the passenger side. So I want to go ahead and replace this because I know that these are pretty old. You don't want those breaking on you. I've had that happen before and it's not pretty. Almost demolished a classic car like that. Alright, and then I just went with pads, the same thing. I went with all the Centric kit on here. I don't know if this is all one kit or not. I think I might have piecemealed this, but just brake pads. It's a work truck. Actually, the pads on there have enough meat on there that would be good, but not since they've been soaked in brake fluid. And the best part about Rock Auto is you get the little magnets. So this one is Brett's Chevy, built with Rock Auto parts. I think that's a Chevy too. Not super familiar with those, but really good looking car. So there we go. So I was about to put these on and I forgot to tell you that the wheel cylinders, these are important when you're doing wheel cylinders to have wheel cylinders. So you can see I actually did part store brand on these. Certain things, I just really want that lifetime warranty, something that I can go to the store, to someone, and get them, right? And this is what we get out of the bag, right here. I mean, made in China, same thing, but at least I can go to the store and get my warranty if I ever needed to do that. Alright, here we go. Here's the piece. That's what we was looking at, the two bolt holes there. That's where the brake line goes, and that's the bleeder. So I'm going to get this all snugged up in there, and then I'm not going to worry about that until I get that wrench that I wanted to tighten that down a little further. And then we can start the bleeding process on, well, won't bleed it until I get it all back together, right? Okay, I'm going to cut this video off right here. So I've showed you how to disassemble the brakes, and I showed you the components I'm going to be putting back in. So next week, I'm going to go over how to assemble and how to bleed the brakes and what bleeding brakes are, and that'll finish this one up. Alright, so if you like what you see, make sure to hit that like, subscribe. If you found it beneficial, share the content. And I'll see you next time on Broken Tool Garage. Alright, this is a short video on how to put brakes in the rear of your 97 Dodge truck. Grab your brakes and put them in the truck. There you go. You're welcome.